Hi everyone, Kat here. So today I want to do a video about talking about college acceptance myths. So I'm only going to be talking about the ones that I have experienced or heard about. So this may not be true for every university, this may not be true for so many places, but at least the ones that I've heard of, experienced here are what they are. So firstly, I hate to say it, but it is what it is. Race totally does matter. So colleges, as you guys know, or maybe not, there are some laws that protect people of race that make colleges take as many, like a certain percentage of those students, so to make it more diverse, to make, for so many different reasons. And I understand that makes complete sense. Like, I get it. It makes sense. But there are also lots of downfalls to it. Like, as an Asian, so say a college has to have like 5% Asian, right? So this is when kind of stereotypes come in. Like, Asians are supposedly really smart and brilliant, right? Which a lot of them are. Like, that's why stereotypes come about. Like, they have to be somewhat true in some extent. Like, there is a correlation. So, like, not like, there's a correlation, but there's not, like, it doesn't make someone smart, if that makes sense. But so say I'm competing, like, I'm not brilliant. I have a couple B's on my transcript. I have A's, but I also have I have B's scattered about. Like, it just is. Like, I'm not brilliant. So I am competing with other Asians who are supposedly the valedictorians, who are getting straight A's, who are always who are supposedly really brilliant. And because if I check Asian on my application, I am competing for that spot, if that makes sense. But then there are also downfalls for so-called other races. So I know there's a case going on, right now going on, that a white girl is trying to sue the university because she got better scores than an African American girl, I think it was, or of some other race. And so that the girl who is white is demonstrating that she's having some struggles with that because they're trying to get the admittance acceptance percentage, but they're also accepting somebody who has a lower test scores and lower GPA than her, if that makes sense. So that's just couple of those struggles. So race does matter. So just keep that in mind when you are on your Common App, when you're clicking what race you are. I think you can say prefer not to answer. So that's what I ended up doing because I did not want to compete with the brilliant Asians who are valedictorians, who are always getting 34s on the ACT, because that's just not who I am. And so I would just rather be going in as me rather than going in as my race. So that's just something you want to think about. If you're top of the top and you're valedictorian, you're going in with a strong ACT score, go for it. It doesn't matter. But if you're someone like me who's struggling more on the average side, it's just something you want to think about. Race is still a thing in this society. And then for me, I also played the gender card. That's definitely something I played because I applied for all engineering schools. Also sexist, but it's kind of the world we live in. I made sure to demonstrate that I am female. I'm interested in STEM. I'm female. I'm an maybe above average student. I have some B's, so that's why I say I have very high expectations. But yeah. So maybe I'm above average. I don't know. I find me as just average. But I played the gender card. So if you can play the gender card, that hopefully it helped me. I'm not really sure. But I got into 6 engineering schools, but maybe that's not just because I'm female, but just saying, it probably ended up helping. So play the gender card if you can. Whether you'd like to admit it or not, what high school you come from does actually matter. Colleges do take a look if you're inner city, if you're private, if you're suburban, where you come from, and just kind of what kind of environment you come from. They won't say this, most likely, most colleges will not say this, but they do take a look at it because they want kind of diversity within, just even within their school, not just race-wise, but they want to put diversity when it comes to where you come from, I guess. So I'm from an inner city school, and that tends to help out students a lot. And so I don't know, I was fine with putting that down. I didn't really think about it, but it's like they look at it, like sometimes they look at it at a higher stance than a private school because it's like there's more diversity. You usually get less attention. I'm at a public school, so it's kind of big. You have to prove yourself in a public school, I feel like a lot more, I guess, and like I don't know. Like these are just kind of stereotypes, but it just kind of sorry, don't shoot the messenger. It's just like kind of what I hear from the admissions people, and they're like it shows that you're sometimes it shows that you're like more like okay, I guess, with different with like differences, like with races, with like with like I don't know how to say this, but like with gender, like going on with gender stuff, going on with like races, going on with different backgrounds that everyone has and different situations that everyone has and different income levels. So like just like public school, they usually tend to see it at a higher stance, but I mean sometimes you can't control it, but that's also something that they care about a little bit. They usually don't care too much about all these little things, but maybe these little things add up, and maybe these little things helped me get into college. I'm not really sure. Okay, so I remember going in as a freshman doing like all of the extracurricular activities. Like I did everything. I was in like every club, and I was a devoted freshman. May I just say, I was devoted. I went to every meeting. I like fundraised. I did everything. And like cuz I thought not only would it be good for me, but I also thought, well, this will help me in college. But I was wrong. I was wrong. Extracurriculars matter, but like not really that much. They don't care that much. Unless you're trying to go Ivy League or like really high up, like they care a little bit more, I guess, but even then they don't care that much. But if you're going to do extracurriculars, I advise you to probably do like an artsy one and a sports, because like or like an artsy one, a sport, and like an academic one, if that makes sense. So you can do like 3 clubs and like make sure you're really devoted, and that seems to help and have some like make your resume a little bit stronger, because I'm like tennis captain. I was speech and debate. I've been on speech and debate for 4 years now and was like an event leader. So like leadership roles are good. Leadership are good. Like good. And then I was also I'm also president of Global Awareness Club. So maybe presidency helps a little bit, and like being able to have some leadership roles. Oh, and then my academic one was like speech and debate, but also robotics. I was also on the board for robotics. So yeah, I don't know. That ended up maybe helping me. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, at least the schools that I was looking into, I don't know about other universities or colleges, but since I was going and trying to go for engineering, a lot of universities that like the admission I've talked to, the admissions, like they do not like seeing C's on your transcript. Like if you have C's, you're not screwed, but like your chances are a lot lower than someone who has like B's and A's, which makes sense. Like they're okay with B's, okay, but no C's, B minuses even, like don't do those. Lowest like you should be striving for is a B. And maybe that's just me having really high standards for myself and like being in a school environment that has like really high standards, but like on all the common, like a lot of the common app stuff, like if you had a C or below, like you had to explain why you got that C. And like if you have multiple C's, oh yikes, like that's not good. So just heads up for that. Don't get C's. Don't do C's. Do whatever you can, just don't get C's. Like, beg your teachers to do extra credit, just anything, like, to help your grade, because you have to play the admissions game. Like, you do. You have to think about your grades first. Whether it's, like, if you're annoying your teacher too much, like, yeah, that's bad, but also it's, like, you have to play the admissions game. Like, it's awful, but you gotta do it. Yeah, so those are just kind of my, like, really serious tips about college acceptance myths. Yeah, so I hope those ended up helping. Like and comment if this ended up being true for any of you guys. I'd like to comment if you guys know any more that I forgot, because I'm probably forgetting some, because it's just, I'm forgetting right now. But yeah, comment if there are any I ended up forgetting, or if that you've experienced. And don't forget to like and subscribe. thanks for watching. Bye.